Hello everybody, Nitsua Gamer here, and here is the first episode to where I react to my old videos. Now to be clear, these are old videos from another channel of mine called Nitsua94, not Nitsua Gamer. So most of you know me as Nitsua Gamer, where I mostly do gaming content and occasionally some original stuff and even movies for that matter. But before I was Nitsua Gamer, in like 2011, I think I started Nitsua Gamer officially. I was pretty much just a guy who was interested in making movies or just videos in general, and that started back in 2009. No, not 2009, 2008, near the end of 2008, but I started uploading in 2009 once I created my first YouTube channel, Nitsua94, in March. Now, when I'm doing these reactions, I'm going to be reacting to, some of the stuff that, happens in the video, explaining some of the reasons or direction behind it, and of course, get ready for some cringe-worthy value, because there's definitely going to be a lot of cringe. So, a little backstory about little Nitsua when he was very young. He used to want to write a book. He wanted to be an author. He wanted to write his own book series ever since he was in the 3rd grade. And I've been writing, plenty of stories. There was a 6-book series that I'm wanting to write that I pretty much have shelved at this point, but it was something that I was really ambitious about and wanted to bring to life. And of course, I'm not really the best when it comes to grammar, when it comes to writing, so what is the best opportunity for me to be able to be a storyteller? Because it's not like I can create films. I mean, that's probably going to be way beyond my expertise and whatever. Well, what do you know? It turns out I actually have uploaded over 1,000 videos on YouTube or just the internet in general for my entire life. And creating videos in general has definitely been quite a huge passion of mine. In fact, I've even went to film school after I graduated high school for 2 years, which I didn't really get a job out of it, but I am occasionally doing some helping on videos here and there and such, but that'll be another story. But yeah, it was in the 8th grade when I was in high school. Now, just to clarify, you're probably like, wait, 8th grade, high school? Shouldn't that be like middle school or something? Around here, when you're in elementary school, it goes from kindergarten to 7th grade. But when you're in secondary school, which we often call high school, it goes from 8th grade to 12th grade. And then, of course, that's high school graduation after that. And yeah, a little more, less than 3 schools than probably what you're used to. But that's pretty much how I ended up. Like, when I started doing a project called Cell Wars back in the 8th grade for science, I did a Cell Wars project where I wanted to do something video related, and while I was able to create videos through an application called Photo Booth, which you might find on some Mac computers, and I don't think it's running nowadays. I think that app has been extinct for a long time, but it's kind of just the funny thing where you can just kind of like smear yourself and, oh my god, I am totally talking to my clone, that kind of novelty. And obviously it was cool and all that, but of course it just didn't feel professional enough. So pretty much what I did is that I opened up my laptop and of course would film from my webcam to film these videos. Now of course some YouTubers have been able to film from their webcams using their YouTube videos and such, but of course it's not really the most efficient way to do it. But I didn't have any camera around the time, and of course smartphones weren't really that popular around the time, and I didn't really start using a smartphone until much later in high school. So of course when this project Cell Wars came about, I was looking on my computer like, okay, well, what can we do? Because it would be cool if we created a movie or did like some sort of Star Wars parody or something for the Cell Wars project. And what ultimately came up is an app called iMovie, which I didn't even open yet, despite having it on my computer for months and never checking it out. So when I eventually checked out the iMovie, which I think was called iMovie 08 at the time, that's when I realized that I could actually not only edit and create videos, but I could potentially start a career in filmmaking in general. But of course, when I started off filming essentially from the webcam off of my laptop. That's pretty much how I started. That's how the entire Cell Wars project was filmed. And that's pretty much how the first couple of years went when I was in high school. And the time that the Cell Wars project was filmed and finished was at the end of December in 2008. And it wasn't until March 2009 that I eventually created a YouTube channel, Nitsua 94, 94 being the year I was born. And, you know, I had the help of my mother to set it up because, you know, being a mother, she has to make sure that, you know, this is safe for me or whatever. And for the most part, it's not, but it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. Mostly, but pretty much just to test and see if uploading on YouTube actually works. I did not upload the Cell Wars project first, even though it was technically the first video that I did. The first video that I uploaded is a video called Mama No, and this video is, well, I'm gonna react to it and you guys get to witness it for the first time. And if you want to watch any of my Nitsua 94 videos, the channel will be down in the description down below, along with the video that I'm reacting to. So here we go, let's watch Mama No. Mama No! And that's it. That was the video. Just a 3-second, 2-second, 3-second video. That's pretty much it. Okay, so backstory behind Mama No. So what the heck is up with that? So the thing starts off with a curtain and of course showing like the default font that you would use in iMovie. Now when it came to like using iMovie, it would automatically have the 0.5 second fade in and fade out when it came to using fonts within iMovie, which is something that is not added on to some other editing software, at least not that I'm aware of, like Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, and stuff like that. As of now, I use Adobe Premiere Pro, but with iMovie, and I'm not sure how it is nowadays, but back in like iMovie 08, it would have like the automatic 0.5 second fade in and fade out, which is why you see a fade in and fade out when you see the thing saying Mama No. And of course the curtain in the background is like one of the default tiles that you can have in the background, just as either a placeholder, or if you're a lazy creator like I was at the time, you can use that as a background for like an opening, for example. And of course you get to see what my room used to look like, which I've used for a good chunk of the years, for like over 5 years when I was on this channel. I'm not sure when I eventually moved down to here eventually, but when I was filming that, I was in a very dark room. It was dark blue, which was like the worst mistake that I've ever made. Don't have a dark blue room that I had, okay? Never do that. And I pretty much just took one of my underwear and just pretty much went, no. Now you're probably wondering, well, why did I go silent? Weren't you the one that said Mama No? No. The whole thing is not really that original. And the reason why is because I actually recorded it with the sound. Like I pretty much had like, you know, the template with the curtains, and then I have the font that appears for a little bit, and then I have me going Mama No with the underwear. But I also have an additional audio clip that actually comes from another YouTube video. So this video is not original. It's pretty much ripping audio from another YouTube video and pretty much claiming, oh yeah, I am being funny, and it's just painful. It's just painful. But obviously, as a young kid, I was like, you know, ambitious and curious and wanted to do silly things. You know, that's what a lot of kids like to do. They like to do silly things in front of the computer. You know, do the photo booth thing, like, oh my god, this is so wacky, and you know, we were really ambitious and like trying the gimmicky things. And of course, you know, we would probably take something that is copywritten or even off of another YouTube video and kind of just have it playing in the background, kind of just being recorded off of the laptop itself as the video is playing. Now, this isn't like the Smosh Pokemon song, the one that was eventually removed from Smosh, where they were just lip syncing to the Pokemon theme. It's not like that. you know, they actually added the Pokemon theme, like the actual song, just, you know, along with their lip syncing and whatever. Whereas me, I kind of do the same in a way, except I essentially recorded the audio as the video from the YouTube video was recording. As you can probably tell, it sounds like it was recorded off of a computer, and it was recorded off of a computer. And what does the video originate from? Well, it originates from one of my, well, I don't want to say childhood because technically it was teenage, but one of my favorite teenage YouTube shows growing up as a kid that helped me a lot through depression, honestly, from youtube.com/Rich Alvarez. Now, Rich Alvarez is known for creating a show called Stupid Mario Brothers, which I do recommend watching, especially if you're, you know, forgiven for some of the old style filmmaking with, like, you know, 360p quality and all that. Like, if you're forgiven of some of those earlier YouTube videos where obviously there wasn't really that much production behind it, but there's still a lot of passion, I do recommend watching Stupid Mario Brothers. Now, where this audio comes from, Mama No, comes from, I think it was episode 23 of Stupid Mario Brothers, and the scenario was that you have Link that kept breaking into these two guys' houses because in Hyrule, nobody cares if you come into their home and break their stuff, and you know, he's kind of just sitting down and complaining about how Lord of the Rings is kind of like making all the warriors look pathetic and whatever, and then these two guys who own the house, you know, after coming across him for a third time, are about to whip his ass with a tie, and of course Link gets scared, and then he grabs his hat and goes, "Mama, no!" And essentially I recorded off of that section of their YouTube video. Now, yes, it might not be as serious as taking something that's more copywritten, like from a movie or whatever, but it's still pretty shameful that I had to pretty much take an entire audio from another YouTube video, and a much more better YouTuber maker, at least at the time, and such. And Rich Alvarez is still going on, even though they're not as active nowadays, but I definitely recommend subscribing to them, especially if you like Super Mario content. In fact, they're actually doing a Fallout show, so if you like Fallout or Super Mario, definitely check Rich Alvarez out. Channel will be down in the description down below. So yeah, that was pretty much Mama No. It was pretty much a very unoriginal video, but it was pretty much me just testing out the iMovie. And even though it was the first video that was ever uploaded to Nitsua 94 on March 19th, same month that I am, or same day that I'm pretty much uploading this video right now, 10 years later, you can probably tell why I'm starting this show. I want to be able to see how much I've improved 10 years later, and also give you guys a brief history of Nitsua in general. You know, whether if you're a fan of me or if you're a friend of mine, you know, I'm pretty sure most of you would like to know where I started off from. And I can assure you, this 3-second video is not a proper representation of what I put out there. Not even what I put out on Nitsua 94. This was pretty much just a test to see what I can do with iMovie. And as a simple test, it's just a simple 2-minute gag or something with audio ripped from another YouTube video, a much more funnier YouTube video. And yeah, that was pretty much Mama No. So this is going to be a series where I'm going to be reacting to my old videos, and when we return in the next episode, we are going to be looking at the very first project that I ever filmed, Cell Wars, in 3 parts, which I'll do in one video considering that I can upload for God who knows how long.